It's a new time going on in the WWE, and we've already seen some pretty crazy moments and some really awesome returns since Triple H has taken over creative control of the WWE. And we just have to see what type of other things are going to be booked, who else might decide to show up, what people might be promoted from NXT, and what new feuds or old feuds are we going to be seeing rekindled or started up. What's going on, everybody? This is NYG Jeffy T 3285. And before I start my video on talking about some of the news and notes heading into Monday Night Raw tonight, we just got breaking news that just came down today as the WWE has officially fired former President and Head of Talent Relations, John Lauranitis, after he was also included in the Vince McMahon scandal that was going on about covering up money for former interns that were part of the WWE and using their money to help pay off hush money going on with them. So John Lauranitis has officially been fired from the WWE going forward. And obviously that was going to happen once Vince McMahon officially retired from the WWE, and John Laurinaitis has always been known as a Vince McMahon guy. In fact, he was fired before when Stephanie McMahon had a little bit more control, and then Vince McMahon, of course, brought him back later and put him right back into position as head of talent relations for the WWE. So John Laurinaitis has officially been fired from the WWE as the Vince McMahon era is slowly starting to be weeded out, and some of the people backstage that were part of Vince McMahon's little circle are either being put down into lower roles in the company or they're starting to be weeded out one by one. So that's the breaking news that just happened today. John Laurinaitis officially out of the WWE. Now, in terms of some news and notes for tonight, right now Raw is being booked in Cleveland, Ohio tonight, and the biggest storyline going around right now is the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament that's going to be starting tonight. And you have to wonder how many teams, A, are going to be in this tournament, and B, who is going to be involved in this tournament. And we're talking about current talent, we're talking about potential NXT call-ups, and don't even forget about potential returns of wrestlers that were either released by the WWE or have been free agents and are looking to possibly sign on with the WWE. Well, a rumor has just been out as Asuka tweeted out earlier today that she was talking about the women's tag team tournament, saying she wants to be she's going to be tag team champions again, but she was looking for a mystery partner. A lot of speculation went out, and then ironically, former WWE superstar and the Pirate Princess Kairi Sane retweeted Asuka when she saw that with a smiley face emoji and then a gif of her and Asuka together of when they were known as the Kobuki Warriors when they won the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in 2019, and they were very over with the crowd as baby faces and heels with the WWE. Kairi Sane has been out of the WWE since the summer of 2020 when she allowed her contract to run out and she made a return to Japan to be closer by her husband. And since then, she was known as an ambassador for the remaining days of her WWE contract until eventually ran out in the December of 2021. And then she recently just rejoined Stardom, and she's been wrestling for that promotion since. But with now Triple H taking over creative control, and with the fact that Triple H has been a big fan of Kairi Sane's work, there is a very good possibility that if Kairi Sane is not currently under contract with Stardom, that it's not out of the realm that the Pirate Princess makes her way back to the WWE and is either a solo act or she ends up re-teaming up with Asuka, reforming the Kobuki Warriors, heading to this the WWE Women's Tag Team Tournament. So just keep in mind with that. On the contrary, even Charlotte Flair is a name that could be thrown out there as a possible tag team partner of Asuka, because they also were a tag team when they won the tag team championships back in 2017, before they eventually had a match against one another at WrestleMania. So that's a possibility too. Some of the other news and notes, you have to keep in mind of returning wrestlers that could be coming back anytime soon. And with already, you have names like Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, and Dakota Kai already returning to the company, and the fact that Triple H has been open about strengthening the depth on his roster in terms of the main roster and bringing back a bunch of his former talents that were over in NXT, I actually made myself a list of some of the talents that could be coming back to the WWE or possibly could be returning to the WWE. Obviously, the top of the list, you would have people like Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, and Johnny Gargano, who we all know what Bray Wyatt and his two gimmicks that he had, the Eater of Worlds and the Fiend, what his type of gimmicks can bring and his creative mind can bring to the WWE. Braun Strowman as well, his size, his strength, his polarizing figure, the fact that he was pretty much a gimmick that could tip over anything and everything. And if he's still, if his wrestling promotion that he has right now, the Control Your Narrative thing, is currently on hiatus, it's not out of the question that WWE brings back Braun Strowman. And with the fact that WWE is going to be in Cleveland, Ohio tonight, which is the home of Johnny Wrestling, the Rebel Heart, it's not out of the question that Johnny Wrestling makes his return to WWE tonight or in the near future. And of course, that's also including his wife, Candice LeRae, the Poison Pixie. Where it's a very good possibility with the WWE needing women's tag teams, why not bring back Candice LeRae? Indy Hartwell is really not doing anything in NXT. Elevate Indy Hartwell to the main roster. Bring back the women from the Way. You could have Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae reunite as the Way and put them into the tag team tournament as another tag team going forward. Some other names, I mentioned it before, Kairi Sane. Possibility she could come back. Tegan Nox. Tegan Nox has had she has a lot of injury issues with her knee. She has had, unfortunate injury issues, but she is a very, very good babyface. She was a part of the WWE less than a year ago when she came up to the main roster as a lovable babyface, teaming up with Shotzi Blackheart, and they even had some wins over Tamina and Natalya when they were the women's tag team champions at the time on SmackDown. So there's a possibility that maybe Tegan Nox makes her way back because Triple H was a fan of hers. I did put down Emma and Mickie James, but I think they're both under Impact, and I don't know how the WWE fans remember Emma. It's been a long time. Maybe she makes her way back. Mickie James would be a good veteran. Paige is a free agent, and while they did say their goodbyes last month, who knows if maybe in the future Paige decides to maybe make her way back over to the WWE if she is potentially cleared and if she thinks she can make her biggest impact with the WWE going forward. Couple of other names you could throw out there: Timothy Thatcher, Dexter Lumis, a couple of good solid mid-card guys you can bring back. They were mid-card guys solid in NXT. Enzo and Big Cass. The only reason I put down Enzo and Big Cass is because of the fact that these two were majorly over, not only in NXT but the main roster, because of their incredible charisma, their entrance. And if Enzo Amore is able to be cleared from past allegations that he had, why not bring back another popular tag team to the WWE if everything is okay with Enzo in the WWE, Cass in the WWE? You need tag teams in the main roster. Why not try to bring back one of the most popular teams of a few years ago with Enzo and Cass? Nash Carter. Nash Carter had a lot of controversy because of things that went on behind the scenes with his ex-wife, who is currently part of Impact. I forget her name off the top of my head. If you remember her name, please let me know. And also because of a recent picture that he had that eventually Vince McMahon and the PR department with WWE didn't like, so they released Nash Carter. Well, if everything is smoothed over, like I said, I'm not saying I'm an advocate of doing it, but if you're smoothing it over, why not bring back Nash Carter and reunite him with Wes Lee, who's sort of in nowhere land right now, and he's potentially going to have a knockout round, a 3 rounds match with Trick Williams on this coming episode of NXT on Tuesday. I think Wes Lee needs his partner back, and if Nash Carter is cleared, there's no lingering issues surrounding Nash Carter, possibly bring him back to the company, reunite him with Wes Lee, bring back MSK, and then you have yourselves another WWE tag team going forward. A couple of women that you could bring back to the company that were released that maybe have some value in terms of mid-card people that you could put together. I have people like Jessie Kamea, Vanessa Bourne, Santana Garrett, Taya Valkyrie, Sarah Logan. These are some more women. 5 women that were released that maybe had some potential, that if you really want to add some more depth, along with the Kairi Sane, a Tegan Knox, a Candice LeRae, a Paige, if you want to bring more depth to the women's division on the main roster, I think NXT will be okay. But on the main roster, maybe bring back a couple of these women if you want to add a little bit more depth. Some other names that could be brought back, tag teams, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Triple H was big on these guys. Even worked a program with Pat McAfee when McAfee and Burch and Lorcan were facing off against Undisputed Era. Maybe you bring them back as another tag team. Kalisto is right now a free agent. He's been wrestling on some of the independent markets, been wrestling with AAA and some of these other promotions. Kalisto does have a lot of athletic ability. Maybe you bring him back if you want to use something with him. John Morrison is currently a free agent. He did appear on AEW for a little bit. He did appear on AAA. Maybe you bring back John Morrison, the human highlight reel. Killian Dane. Bring back Killian Dane as a potential guy who was part of Sanity. A lot of size. Maybe you bring him back. Another guy you can throw into that mid-card department. See what he can do. EC3. Derek Bateman. First run failed. They brought him back later on as EC3 when he was killing it in Impact during the early 2010s. Obviously, it didn't work out. Vince McMahon just had no direction of it. Would you think about maybe bringing back EC3? It's another guy. Eric Rowan. If you bring back Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, why not bring back Eric Rowan? If you want to bring back some sort of the Wyatt family, there you go. You bring back Redbeard, Eric Rowan. Another guy with mid-card size. You can have a trio right there. Maybe have two of them compete for a tag team. That's another name. Persia Parada. Another woman that was recently released. Do you think maybe WWE has interest in bringing her back as more depth for the women's division? So there's so many names right now that you could potentially bring back. Now there's no way they're going to bring back all these people. There's about at least 45 to 50 people I named on this list that could potentially return to the WWE. I don't think they're going to bring everybody back because the WWE has been grooming a new crop of wrestlers, and I think they want to try to see what some of these people can do. But it's not out of the question that at least 5 to 10 of these people do return to the company in some sort of capacity to help strengthen the depth on this roster going forward. And it shouldn't all happen at once. Spread it out during the year, and so you can make every single return feel much more important. But that's just some of the news and notes going on for WWE. And of course, WWE Monday Night Raw is going to be going on tonight. Obviously, the main topic being in the women's tag team tournament starting tonight. Who can get called up from NXT? Who's going to return? How many teams are going to be in this bracket? I think there's going to be 8. There could be more. I think 8 seems like the most ideal. We'll have to see what happens and who's going to be booked in the tournament and who's going to be part of this tournament going forward. You have Tommaso Ciampa versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. You have Finn Balor taking on Rey Mysterio tonight, and you have to see what other programs are going to be kicking off going forward. So that's just some news and notes that are going to be happening going into Monday Night Raw. The breaking news that just happened today, John Lauranitis is officially out of WWE. He was fired today. And of course, the rumors going around that possibly the Pirate Princess, Kairi Sane, might be on her way back to WWE, and is teased that she could be a potential participant and team up with Asuka, reforming the Kobuki Warriors, going into the WWE Women's Tag Team Tournament that'll be starting off tonight at 8 o'clock on Monday Night Raw in Cleveland, Ohio. So if you like the video, please hit the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already to NYG Jeffy T3285 for more breaking news updates and chatter surrounding the WWE, New York Giants, Brooklyn Nets, New York Mets, as well as food for thought. Share your comments below on what wrestlers that I named in the video you think have a strong possibility to come back, which ones you think have no chance to come back. If you agree about possibly Kairi Sane returning and the Kobuki Warriors coming back, what you think about the women's tournament, what teams you'd like to see in there, and overall thoughts of Monday Night Raw going into the show tonight, as well as if you're happy with what you've seen since Triple H has taken over creative since SummerSlam this year. And turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short that drops during the WWE. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Monday afternoon/evening. It's going to be a big show tonight for WWE. We're going to have to see what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw, but you can't help but be excited to see what's going to happen and what people could potentially return to the WWE and what teams could possibly be part of this women's tag team tournament going forward, and if Tommaso Ciampa might end up becoming the new WWE United States Champion. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday evening. Take it easy, and let's see what the WWE has cooking for us tonight on Monday Night Raw.